Good. Let's go. Last 10, put it in.
My back. Is there a doctor in here? My back's gone.
Breaking. Anthony Joshua got an injury during the preparation for the Jake Paul fight, and the whole camp froze instantly. Joshua hurt his back while training, and now people are seriously talking about postponing or even pausing the fight until he's fully healed.
Josh, we've seen what we've seen offensively, defensively, heart-wise, defense-wise.
Eddie Hearn admits the start was disastrous, and he's right. Anthony Joshua's back injury in preparation for Jake Paul has thrown the camp into chaos. Yet the only positive is AJ's unbelievable heart and guts, keeping focus despite the setback.
But, you know, at this point you have to try and take any positives you can, and it's difficult because the start was disastrous. And the only positives I can take is the unbelievable.
Anthony Joshua's back injury is under careful assessment by Frank Warren and the team. The camp is on hold as doctors determine if Anthony Joshua is fit to fight Jake Paul. This delay emphasizes the seriousness of the injury, and nothing will move forward until he is fully ready.
And we're determining whether he's going to be fit to box. If he's not well enough, then obviously he won't fight, but we don't know what the outcome is yet.
The news of Anthony Joshua's back injury during Jake Paul preparations has prompted serious questions. Johnny Nelson points out that an inquiry is needed because no one fully knows the details yet. Fans and insiders are waiting to see if Anthony Joshua can continue, highlighting how quickly a single injury can put a major fight in doubt.
Unfortunately, there is going to be there needs to be an inquiry straight after this. Why, what? But that's what I'm hearing. This news is as fresh to me as it is you. I'm quite sure when this goes out, it'll be all over the place anyway.
Anthony Joshua's withdrawal from the Jake Paul fight shocks the boxing world. Eddie Hearn mentions the financial stakes, but Anthony Joshua's health comes first. The back injury forced a pause, showing that even the biggest fights can't happen when a fighter isn't physically ready.
This, to pull out with all the money that's been spent and for squeaky bum time, is not the way forward. And I think Jake Paul's game.
Anthony Joshua's back injury during Jake Paul preparations has created confusion in the boxing world. Johnny Nelson captures the uncertainty perfectly as news spreads fast. Fans and insiders are left guessing what happens next, and whether Anthony Joshua can resume camp or if the fight will face an indefinite pause.
It don't matter what drugs you take, it doesn't make you a better fighter. It might make you stronger, might make you fit. It doesn't make you a better fighter, and that's proof. You know, so until more news comes out.
Anthony Joshua's back injury during Jake Paul preparations proves that even training sessions can't prevent setbacks. Shannon Briggs reminds everyone that being in the gym doesn't guarantee readiness. The injury has forced Anthony Joshua to halt camp and reassess, showing how crucial recovery is before stepping into the ring.
See, this is going to be a good fight. I just heard that rumor that, this morning or last night. I don't know if it's true. Somebody said he's been down in the gym a couple of times, but...
Chael Sonnen highlights how Anthony Joshua's injury impacts the narrative around Jake Paul. The back issue during preparations shows that Paul isn't facing a fully ready heavyweight. Anthony Joshua's experience and resilience still make him the clear favorite once he returns, while Jake Paul is left waiting and overestimating his chances.
Problem that Paul ran into is when Feldman turned in a ridiculous decision, which is where Paul should have left it.
Derek Chisora explains why Anthony Joshua's back injury during Jake Paul preparations is critical. Sparring mistakes are manageable, but a real injury changes everything. Anthony Joshua must recover fully before taking on Jake Paul to ensure the fight is competitive and safe for both sides.
It's only different. Sparring, you're there to learn. So the guy you knocked out in sparring, he's understand, okay, I did this silly move, that's how I got knocked out. So I'm gonna have to stop doing these silly moves so I don't get knocked out.
Carl Froch makes it very clear that Anthony Joshua is on a completely different level compared to Jake Paul. Joshua's power, experience, and size make him a true heavyweight, while Jake Paul has never faced anyone of this caliber. Losing to Tommy Fury shows Paul's limitations, and putting him against Anthony Joshua now, especially while AJ is recovering from a back injury, highlights how mismatched this scenario is. Fans are seeing that Anthony Joshua remains the real threat and the serious competitor in the ring, and Jake Paul is still learning what it means to face a world-class heavyweight.
But AJ's a big punch in heavyweight, and fake Paul's never been in with a heavyweight. Like I said earlier, he lost to Tommy Fury, a cruiserweight. He lost to him. Tommy Fury's not even British level, so you can't chuck fake Paul in with Anthony Joshua and take it serious. Well, I can't anyway.
Duke McKenzie nails the reality of Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul. On paper, this should be an easy payday for Joshua, but the back injury during preparation introduces a huge question mark. The fight may earn money, but Anthony Joshua's legacy is on another level, and if he's healthy, Jake Paul has no chance. Yet the injury now complicates everything, delaying what should have been a routine match. Fans are left wondering if the fight will even happen on schedule, and how Anthony Joshua will manage to recover fully to maintain his dominant edge against someone like Jake Paul.
It'll be the easiest fight of his career. If he wants to get 100 million and not even break sweat, you know, you take the fight. Is it going to enhance his stock as the world's #1 contender? Not at all, because nobody's going to take Jake Paul seriously. But on the other hand, I don't even want to play devil's advocate. What if Joshua hurts this guy, seriously hurts this guy, and puts this guy in hospital?
Simon Jordan makes it obvious that Jake Paul stepping into the ring with Anthony Joshua is utterly ridiculous. Anthony Joshua, even after his loss to Daniel Dubois, remains a two-time heavyweight champion with skills, power, and ring IQ far above anything Jake Paul has seen. The back injury during preparation doesn't change that Anthony Joshua is still a serious fighter who can dominate when fully fit. Jake Paul is facing a mental challenge too, because knowing he's up against a world-class heavyweight like Anthony Joshua, even while AJ recovers, adds pressure that Paul has never experienced.
Not his financial welfare, but Jake Paul going into a fight with Anthony Joshua, to me, is absurd. I mean, Anthony Joshua is a legitimate two-time heavyweight champion of the world. He may have got destroyed by Daniel Dubois, but notwithstanding there's nothing physically wrong with Anthony Joshua that he can't execute. Mentally, he might be in a little bit of a difficult position.
Dave Allen makes a key point about the size difference between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. Anthony Joshua is a natural heavyweight with power and presence in the ring, while Jake Paul is far from that level. The back injury during preparations for this fight only emphasizes that Anthony Joshua cannot risk taking shortcuts or rushing back. Fans are seeing that even if Jake Paul is hyped online, he is nowhere near the scale, skill, or toughness of Anthony Joshua. The injury pause allows AJ to recover fully, and it becomes obvious who the real heavyweight in this matchup is.
I'm not sure really, you know, Jake Paul's a cruiserweight, isn't he? Not even that. You know, he won't be anywhere near his biggest partner of mine.
Johnny Nelson highlights the dangerous reality Jake Paul faces against Anthony Joshua, and the back injury during AJ's preparation doesn't change that Anthony Joshua is still the bigger, stronger, and more experienced fighter. The governing bodies may sanction the fight for business reasons, but the risk for Jake Paul is enormous. Anthony Joshua, once fully recovered, could make this fight very short and brutal. Fans are seeing that health, timing, and experience all favor AJ, and Jake Paul is being thrown into a situation where he may not be ready physically or mentally to face a true heavyweight like Anthony Joshua.
So you think this could be dangerous for Jake Paul?
Oh my goodness, without a doubt. Now the governing bodies now have got to look at this. Would they sanction this fight in any other dimension? No, they wouldn't. But unfortunately, boxing is now more business than show. And this is business. And so the sanctioning bodies aren't going to say, no, this kid doesn't deserve it.
Spencer Oliver perfectly sums up the danger Jake Paul faces against Anthony Joshua. AJ's dominance over Francis Ngannou showed his ability to control and dismantle a dangerous opponent quickly. Jake Paul, coming from social media boxing and a white-collar background, has never faced someone of Anthony Joshua's experience, strength, and tactical knowledge. Even during preparation, Anthony Joshua's back injury has reminded everyone that his body is the engine that powers his skill. Once recovered, AJ's combination of power, technique, and fight intelligence will make this extremely difficult for Jake Paul. The preparation setback delays the fight, but does not diminish the massive gap in experience and skill between them.
God help Jake Paul, that's all I can say. We saw that what Anthony Joshua had done to Francis Ngannou. He went out there and iced him in a couple of rounds. A guy coming from a different discipline. Well, this kid's coming from another level. You know, white-collar boxing in 2018, gone through the mill, and the only boxer really that he's actually boxed, a legitimate boxer he got beat by, and that was in Tommy Fury. Now he's...
Tony Bellew highlights the massive size and strength advantage Anthony Joshua has over Jake Paul, and why this fight is inherently dangerous for Paul. Joshua's preparation for Jake Paul was interrupted by a back injury, but that does not change the fact that AJ is bigger, stronger, and far more experienced. Once fully recovered, Anthony Joshua will be in total control in the ring. Jake Paul stepping up in size and skill will be exposed under pressure. The preparation delay only allows Joshua to come back stronger, while Jake Paul is still learning how to face a real heavyweight. Fans are seeing clearly who holds the true power.
Anthony Joshua, who's now 5 inches bigger than you, maybe more, or 4 or 5 inches, and about 100 pounds heavier. You just don't go from there right up to there. I don't believe it. And I won't believe it until the two of them got 10-ounce gloves on in a boxing ring. Because if Anthony Joshua puts 10-ounce gloves on and gets in a boxing ring and Jake Paul is in the other corner,
Sam Jones gives a stark warning about the consequences Jake Paul faces against Anthony Joshua. AJ's power has already been proven in fights like the one against Francis Ngannou, and even a single punch could cause serious damage. Anthony Joshua's back injury during preparations has paused the fight, but once he's fully fit, Jake Paul will be at enormous risk. This highlights how seriously this fight should be taken, and why Anthony Joshua remains the clear favorite. The injury is a temporary hurdle for AJ, while Jake Paul must confront the reality of facing a genuine heavyweight who can deliver devastating power at any moment.
Listen, we can all joke, but nobody wants any permanent damage to happen to Jake Paul. But if Anthony Joshua hits Jake Paul with the right hand he hit Francis Ngannou with, he could brown bread him.
Frank Warren's mention of Usyk being dropped in sparring reminds everyone that even elite fighters face moments of vulnerability. Anthony Joshua's back injury during Jake Paul preparations is another example of how unpredictable fight camp can be. While AJ was pushed to his limits, this setback is part of preparing for a serious fight. The pause allows him to recover fully and return stronger. Meanwhile, Jake Paul is left waiting and cannot exploit the moment because Anthony Joshua's class and skill still overshadow his experience. This shows how health and timing are crucial, and how easily hype can mislead fans about the true threat in the ring.
But people get dropped in sparring, but generally is news to me. I've not heard that before.
The Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul fight is now hanging in the balance after AJ suffered a back injury during preparations, and the situation has shaken the boxing world. Fans were eagerly anticipating the clash, but health always comes first, and Anthony Joshua must fully recover before stepping into the ring. Once he is back to full strength, his power, experience, and skill as a two-time heavyweight champion will dominate, making Jake Paul's chances minimal. This pause gives Anthony Joshua the time to rebuild and come back stronger, while reminding everyone that hype and social media fame cannot compete with real heavyweight expertise. The stakes remain high, because if AJ returns fit and victorious, it will reaffirm his legacy, while any misstep for Jake Paul could be career-defining. Make sure to stay tuned. Comment your thoughts on whether Anthony Joshua will return stronger than ever, and share this with everyone following the drama.